So somebody going to be holding that?
Let me see. We need to. No, I think we're good.
Just like that?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll see when she's standing up.
It'd be awful
I can see him. I can see him.
So, yeah.
So, our second speaker tonight is Charlette Harrington. The title of her speech is An Encounter with Nature and God. Please welcome our second speaker, Charlette Harrington, An Encounter with Nature and God.
Hi, thank you all for having me. I'd just like to say first, and for taking the time tonight to get together and supply us with this activity. Can you see me okay? We're good? All right. And one little clarifier, I'm going to put this in the format of a story. It'll still hit all the points, but just to let you know. Okay. Like magnets, adventure and I were drawn together again. I found myself on an 8-inch ledge 150 feet above Suquamish Pass Falls. And below me was the roar of the waterfall that I had come to check out. That particular day was an exciting moment, but I was also gripped by fear. As I stood on the balls of my feet, as I clung to the sides, fear was gripping me and growing every single moment. Hi, I'm Charlette Harrington, and today I'm going to inform you about who I am by sharing 3 of my passions. Those 3 passions are my love of storytelling, my love of God, and my love of nature. Now, those things have been part of my life, all of my life, as a child, as a young adult, and now in my old age. I have this tendency to pursue these as adventures. Now, why would you want to hear about my passions, hear about my adventure? Well, there's 2 things that I've gotten from this. One is when I become afraid, I've learned to focus not on the fear, but on what I need to do, on what action I need to take instead of that fear. I've also learned that stories are very entertaining and fun. And so today, I hope that that's what you'll get out of this, that you'll learn that even though fear may overtake you, that that's not the thing to focus on. What you focus on is what you need to do next. And I hope you enjoy our time together. So, now that you know what our agenda is, learning about my 3 passions of God, storytelling, and nature, let's go ahead and get back to the story. So, there I was standing. And at that moment, 3 thoughts were going through my head. 3 thoughts. 1, I needed to talk to God. I needed some help, and I needed it fast. 2, the thought that was gripping me was, what is that slithering through my hand? But being on an 8-inch ledge and being scared, I didn't have the guts to look to the side to find out. The 3rd thought, believe it or not, that went through my mind was, if I should survive this, this is going to make the best story. I can't wait. But at that moment, the fear was rising, and I was terrified that if I didn't get control, if I didn't calm down, I was going to pitch forward over the side, and my story was going to end right there. And so as I talked to God, I said, I made a stupid choice, a really stupid choice, but I need you to get me out of this. And as I prayed that little prayer, I could just feel my fear calming, going down more and more. And as that fear calmed down, I also began to hear his voice. He's like, Charlotte, let go of your fear and focus on what you need to do next. Press yourself up against the rock ledge, hang on with your left hand, and whatever you do, don't look at your right hand. And as I stood there, there was something wet, something slimy, something gross moving between my fingers. And there was a 150-foot drop-off. I calmed myself down and I stood there and I waited until whatever it was had moved past my hand. And as soon as I calmed myself down and the fear had subsided, I looked to my right. And what I saw there was something I'd only seen in a National Geographic. It was the biggest yellow giant banana slug I had ever seen in my life, and it had slithered through my fingers. It was truly gross, but also the coolest thing that I'd ever seen. So why am I telling you about being on a ledge? Why am I telling you these things? Because that adventure is kind of, how should I say, the depiction of most of my life, where I find myself in situations where I long for adventure. I get in over my head. I need help, so I call on God. And He has always showed me how much He loves me, and that love has overcome a lot of my fear. Why else am I telling you this story? Is because it's a great story. And I am going to be a librarian, and I love sharing my stories with children. And so this all ties together. And why am I telling you about giant banana slugs? Because believe it or not, I love arthropods, gastropods, and insects. I collect them, I raise them, I have fun with them. And so these are the three passions that I tie together, and I want to share them with you, not just to tell you about them, but show you in story what my passion is so that you can know me better. What I hope as I come to a conclusion here is that you too, as you're pursuing your passions, if you run into those places where fear grips you and the unexpected sneaks up on you when you don't see it coming, remember to ask for help. There's a God out there who loves you. And two, don't focus on the fear. Focus on what you need to do next and do it. And last but not least, when fear overtakes you, I hope that you will drum it to death. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlotte. Please take a few minutes to write some comments for Charlotte.